What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TV and me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time for the Walking Dead weekend. We are back with another episode, and this week it's going to be back to normal, or this weekend I should say. So Saturday you'll get an episode, Sunday you'll get an episode. Again, I apologise for last weekend. It was just so much went on last week, but I managed to get 2 episodes out on the Sunday, and I'm sure if Bob was in your situation and watching these episodes, we all know how he always had a positive spin on everything. He always thought every cloud had a silver lining, so he'd probably say at least you got to watch 2 episodes back to back. Let's get into this recap then. And last episode was very much a tale of 2 halves. It was a tale of, on one hand, the first half of the episode about suffering, questioning if you want to survive, dealing with, the fact people of your family, of your group have died, dealing with that process, the mourning process, dealing with the fact that your last bit of hope in Eugene, a man that could possibly cure this virus, was lying. So on top of, people dying and the lies, they were thirsty, they were hungry, they had nowhere to go. I mean, they were heading to Washington, but, it was a bit of a blind walk in terms of they were just going there to see what was there. They weren't going there for a purpose. And it was sad to watch that first half. It was really hard to watch. But we got into the second half of the episode, and that half was all about positivity. It was about being given a lifeline in this world. Moreover, it was more about, finding good things in the bad and finding even bad things in the good. For instance, the dogs. They were a bad thing, They could have possibly eaten them. But instead of that happening, they got food out of them. So a bad turned into a good. Now, in terms of good turning into bad, we had the rain. That was a lifeline to them. That was water. But with the rain came a storm. And with the storm came a tornado. Now, they were lucky that they survived that tornado and it went straight past them. But, it could very well have hit them. So, every good has a bad and every bad has a good. It's just, it's the way this world is. But the big talking point in this episode was the fact that a man named Aaron came across Sasha and Maggie and seemed to know, quite worryingly, Rick by his name. There's only 2 ways in my head that I could see he could know that name. And that was, one, whether he had been following them, and listening to their conversations and stuff. Because he obviously, earlier on in the episode, left that water for them. So he knew they were thirsty. So he had some sort of intel. So I'm guessing someone, either him or someone in his group, must have been following them. Or the other answer could be that maybe someone who knows Rick has already met those people, Aaron's group. And he told him about Rick and that they might need help. And the only person I could think that could do that is Morgan. And we know Morgan is roughly in the same vicinity as Rick and his group. We knew he was at the church after Rick, but whether he's got ahead of him in that time, I don't know. I doubt it, but it's possible. It's another possibility that Morgan has met with that group and told him all about Rick. So it could be either one of those, but I have to say as well, I'm sort of showing a little bit of faith in Aaron this time around. Even though I'm very wary of strangers, I'm not telling them to trust him straight away. I feel like, especially like I say in the second half of this episode, it seemed like their luck suddenly went from downwards to upwards. It suddenly changed. And I'm hoping that trajectory carries on going up. And who knows, maybe this will be the first stranger with an actual sanctuary that doesn't mean any harm. I guess you could put Gabe in that same category, but his wasn't really a sanctuary. It was just a church he'd held himself up in. It wasn't really a thriving place with many people like Terminus was, like Woodbury was. I suppose the last place we had like that was the farm in season 2. So hopefully he is the lifeline they need. Hopefully he is the anchor in society that they need. Because let's be honest, their morals have been getting a bit crazier and crazier in this world, and it'd be nice for them to get anchored and centered a little bit, be brought down to earth, and get a focus on what life was before this all went down. So let's get into this episode. I'm looking forward to it. This is season 5, episode 11.
This is Aaron.
Stranger danger, as he put it.
We met him outside. He's by himself. We took his weapons and we took his gear. He has a camp nearby. He wants us to audition for membership.
I wish there was another word. Audition makes it sound like we're some kind of a dance troupe. That's only on Friday nights.
So he's got a sense of humour. That's good.
My job is to convince you all to follow me back home. There's no way I could convince you to come with me just by talking about our community. That's why I brought those. Now, I apologize in advance for the picture quality. That's the first picture I wanted to show you, because nothing I say about our community will matter unless you know you'll be safe. Like I said, security is obviously important. In fact, there's only one resource more critical to our community's survival: the people. Together, we're strong. You can make us even stronger.
He's got a good sales pitch. I'll give him that.
The next picture, you'll see inside the gates.
Oh, he ain't taking it.
Our community was first constructed.
Fucking Rick. He was having none of it. He's been burnt way too many times.
So we're clear. That look wasn't a let's attack that man look. It was a he seems like an okay guy to me look.
We gotta secure him. Dump his pack. Let's see what this guy really is.
Me and Sasha, we didn't see him. If he had wanted to hurt us, he could have.
Anybody see anything?
Just a lot of places to hide.
All right, keep looking.
Fuck.
What'd you find?
I completely understand that.
How many of your people are out there? You have a flare gun. You have it to signal your people. How many of them are there?
No matter what I say, you're not going to trust me.
Well, it's hard to trust anyone who smiles after getting punched in the face.
How about a guy who leaves bottles of water for you in the road?
How long you people been following us?
Long enough to see that despite a lack of food and water, you never turned on each other. You're survivors. And you're people. Like I said, and I hope you won't punch me for saying it again, that is the most important resource in the world.
I'm buying it, man. I can't believe it. I am buying it. I'm hook, line and sinker. They need to at least check it out. I mean, they've got every right to be skeptical, but fucking hell, man.
How
Rick.
many others are out there?
One.
I'll check out the cars.
There aren't any cars.
There's only one way to find out.
We don't need to find out.
We do. You know what you know. And you're sure of it. But I'm not. We need to find out what this is.
I agree.
We can handle ourselves. So that's what we're gonna do.
Oh,
I will too.
it. I don't know. I'm in two minds. It does feel too good to be true. It does feel that way, but
Abraham.
I feel like inevitably there was somewhere,
Yeah.
some place like this.
You're not bad people. You're not going to kill us. And we are definitely not going to kill you.
Just because we're good people doesn't mean we won't kill you. If the 5 of them aren't back in an hour, I'll put a knife in the base of your skull.
Fucking hell, man. Rick needs a break. Rick needs a break. He needs a holiday.
Eyes open,
He needs a
everybody.
fucking holiday.
You think I'm trying to poison your baby daughter? I'm tied up, and you've already expressed a willingness to stab me in the head. How would cruelly killing your daughter in front
Just
of you in
eat
any
it.
way help the situation? I hate applesauce. My mom used to make me eat foods I didn't like to make me more manly.
Like you said, you'll be the first to go. You got 43 minutes.
Not one step closer, asshole! got him.
It's funny how it's got to the point in this world where they relax as soon as they see it's a walker, but it's the humans they're more scared of. Oh, I'm getting feels back to Dale's caravan, his camper van. It's the last time we saw something like this, wasn't it?
All clear.
Poor Dale. R.I.P. Dale. R.I.P.
This is ours now.
There's more than enough.
It's ours. Whether or not we go to your camp.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't we go?
We need this. So we're going, all of us. Somebody say something if they feel differently.
I don't know, man. This barn smells like horse shit.
That's an Abraham line if I've ever heard one.
Yeah. We're going. When you first came up on the walls outside Woodbury, what did you hear?
Nothing.
In Terminus?
Nothing.
Sometime tonight, we'll be outside his camp's walls. And without seeing inside, I'm gonna have to decide whether to bring my family in. He asked me before what it would take for me to believe it was real. Truth is, I'm not sure if anything could convince me to go in there.
Later, it just...
Did you ask him the questions?
No.
Oh shit.
How many walkers have you killed?
I don't know, a lot.
How many people?
2.
Why?
Because they tried to kill me. He said I was watching, and yes, I was listening to you. That's how I know.
People could have one too. They could have heard our plan. This isn't safe. Glenn! They're right behind us! They would have hit us!
Holy fuck.
I don't see them.
Oh shit, the camper van.
No, they're gone. They got away. All right, we'll circle back and find them. Let's go. Hold on.
Who did that?
I need to leave. This is over.
Let me out. I need to get out of here. It's over. What's going on? Let me out.
Did you see that?
Michelle, leave him. We need to find our people.
They saw that flare. They think we shot it. This is how we find them.
Glenn. Did he get his arm? I think he got his arm. Holy shit.
If you really want to tie me up again, that's fine, but hurry up.
Oh, thank fuck. Please say everybody's safe.
Your sister okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Eric?
Eric!
When I saw that flare go up,
You worried, were you?
Thank you. You saved Eric. I owe you. All of you. And I will make sure that debt is paid in full when we get to our community.
Oh shit. The same tactic he used at Terminus, hide a weapon. You can hear kids. Oh, please don't be a trap. Please don't be a trap.
Should we go?
Damn it! We're not going to get to see if it is a trap. Damn it! I want to believe, I really want to believe that this is all that Aaron says it is. That they have surgeons, that they have houses, that they have some sort of society. I really, 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 really want to believe. As I'm sure every single person in that group wants to believe. Even Rick wants to believe. But like we keep talking about, past experiences have made everyone paranoid. Even more so Rick. And I think Rick is the most paranoid because we spoke about it before, but I feel like he's the one that, I mean, they even treat him like he's in charge. So he's the man in charge. He's the one responsible. Even though he listens to everyone and takes their advice on board, he's ultimately the one that makes the call. Therefore, if someone dies, it's on him. And I feel like that's why he has to show more paranoia, more wariness than anyone else. And you know, that Aaron, he had an amazing sales pitch. In the barn, I won't say I was sold, I was 50% there. I really am. I'm still at 50%, I believe. I feel like I'm still at that 50% mark because there's so many unknowns. We don't know why this group has survived, because in the past the only people or groups that have survived because they've had to do bad things, because, you know, they've had to do bad stuff to keep hold of that power, to keep hold of that land. And I'm really, really wondering what sort of dark secrets the town of, I think they said Alexandria, the town of Alexandria has had in the past. What dark secrets are there to be found out? Because as nice as it will probably appear on the surface, much like Woodbury, even though there might not be some sort of dictator, psychopath in charge or sociopath in charge, there may be some reason for why the people that are there now are still there. But you know, that's me being paranoid, much like Rick, because this show has trained me to be that way. It's trained me not to trust anyone. It's trained me to always look for the why. Why is this place here? Why does it still survive? Why are these people nice? Why are they going out of their way to find people and bring them back? Now, Aaron did say in this episode that was because they need the people for the community to thrive, for them to become more stronger together. And that makes complete sense, but I'm still hesitant. I really am, because like I say, everything that's happened in the past. I have to say though, there was that moment at the beginning where I thought, you know, is there a possibility Rick could turn his group, the group we've grown to love, into the aggressors? Because it seemed like after he punched Aaron, which completely shocked me, I didn't see that coming at all, but I felt like Rick was on the path to going in there and, you know, invading it to find out what's going on. And then if that happened and these people were peaceful, they would be the aggressors. They would be like, say we'd been following the people in Alexandria all along, then all of a sudden this group we know nothing about, like Rick and Michonne and everyone, come in and start, you know, culling everyone into a group, taking their supplies maybe, or even, you know, keeping them trapped. We'd think these Rick and his group were the bad guys, you know, even though they're just being cautious. And it just goes to show, and I think that's something this show does a lot. It gives you, because we only get really one perspective, which is Rick's perspective and our group's perspective, sometimes, or at least I forget that maybe the actions that our group are doing look bad to another group who are also just trying to survive. That's why sometimes you'll see me arguing two sides to a argument or a point, because I have to remove myself from Rick and the group sometimes just to see it from somebody else's perspective. And that's what I did with the whole Bob 2.0 situation. And I know I went against the grain with that whole thing, thinking Rick was in the wrong. But, you know, I feel like I have to do that. Not just because I want to do that personally. I mean, if I was watching this show, I've always said this to myself, but if I was watching this show on my own, a lot of these situations, I'd just be rooting on Rick, like, yeah, go on, Rick, do what you got to do. You know, you're a badass. But because I'm watching this show with you guys, I feel like I've got to analyse the situations more. And because of that, I'm actually enjoying this show a lot more than I ordinarily would on my own. And I really enjoy it. I really enjoy looking at these problems from 2 points of view. And, you know, this is where I'm looking at this whole Alexandria thing as well. I hope, like I say, that Alexandria is a good place. Like I say, I'm about 50% in at this point. They're at the gates. We've still not seen what's beyond that wall. We heard kids in the background, but again, could this be a trap? Could that just be sounds? Could that just be kids that are with this group making those sounds to lull them into a false sense of security? I have to say as well, Michonne in this episode was fantastic. And you could see, I'm going to use a word here which might make some people angry, but I don't mean it in a bad way. It seems like Michonne is more desperate than everyone else to find a good place. She was the one always arguing for. She wants to believe. She has hope. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I feel like they do, like I said in the recap, they need some sort of anchor in the real world, because the way they're acting, especially Rick, is just spiraling out of control. And they need some sense of normality again. And I feel like Michonne sees that in Rick as well. She knows that he's going overboard sometimes and he needs to be calmed down. And she even said it in 1 or 2 words in this episode. Not exactly those words, but you know, she said it a few times. And hats off to Michonne for arguing the case. I just hope now that, like I say, it turns out to be good. Because if it doesn't, I swear Michonne will take it badly, I feel. Because she's been lulled into a place again. And actually, no, I'm going to take that back, because with Woodbury, Michonne was very critical. She was the one that told Andrea to leave. She saw they were up to mischief. So maybe if they do go into this new town, Michonne will be the one leading the way, making sure that there's nobody conspiring against the group, nobody with some nefarious reason for having them there. But like I say, Michonne was all for it, Rick was against it, and it was good to see those two working together to come to some, you know, some plausible conclusion of how to proceed. And I hope it's good. I'm glad they're going in. I've got to say that. Let's just be very safe about it. Let's be cautious. Let's not trust everyone. Let's not go all in. Let's examine. Let's watch. Let's listen. Let's just try and take this one step at a time, because I want it to be a good place just as much as Rick, just as much as Michonne, just as much as Carl and the group. I want it to be a good place. Whether or not this new town as well sort of goes against the grain and actually doesn't fall. Because, like I've said in many reviews, these places inevitably collapse. They fall in on themselves, whether it's through walkers, through infighting, through just an outside group coming in and taking what they want. They always fall, and I hope this is the exception to the rule. Much like I hope the fact that these are good people with a town is an exception to the rule. If it can be all that, I'll be happy. But I'm going to say it again, this is The Walking Dead. Nothing ever goes to plan. This place will never, ever, ever stay as a place which is safe, because the show would just get stagnant. The show would just stop. So I'm going to enjoy the good times while they're here. I'm going to enjoy the people and the moments of happiness we will get, hopefully, while they're there. And I guess we'll see what the future holds. So let's leave that there, guys and girls. Great episode once again. One with a lot of mistrust, but, you know, Michonne eventually talked around Rick, like I say. So I'm hoping good things lie beyond that gate, but there's every chance there's bad things as well. So until next time, guys and girls, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And until then, bye-bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead Weekend with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up, because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. Also, if you've got any thoughts or theories about the episode, remember you can leave them in the comments section below. But please, no spoilers. If you'd like to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you can take part in Patreon polls or even get early access to my videos. And finally, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter at TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.